to make sure that nobody forgets them. Nobody will make this some kind of routine or a normal situation. Keep reminding them that there are 134 people hostage in Gaza. And that's all we can do, and hope and expect our government and the world to really do whatever they can.
Adam?
Thank you. Adam Sella from the New York Times. I wanted to ask, last week, Netanyahu did not send, oh, sorry, let me start first by appreciate you guys sharing. It's very difficult to hear the troubles that you guys are going through, and so I'm very sorry for that. I wanted to ask about last week with Netanyahu recalling his delegation to the negotiations, and there being questions about the future of negotiations. I was wondering how you feel about how negotiations are progressing, what you'd like the Israeli government to do.
Like I said, we are very worried. I'm very worried. We only know things from the press. We as family don't get any kind of internal information. So we only know what's going on from the press, and there's a lot of announcements and reports. Not everything is correct. Like I said before, when I hear something like this, then this is my cue to speak and to demand that Israel will keep being active and will do whatever she can to negotiate. Personally, I think there's no other way but negotiating a deal to release the hostages. I think that the military press, the military fight in Gaza, it's just another side, but it can't be the only way or the only solution for bringing the hostages. A negotiation and a deal is the only way. The last 136 days that hostages were released, apart from three hostages being released in a military operation. So for me, when I hear this, it's just another opportunity for me to keep shouting for everybody to negotiate, to bring a deal, to do whatever they can, so that they'll be back. That's from my
Would anybody
side
else
of things.
like to add anything? Yifat, Aylon?
Oh, sorry.
Linda?
Yeah, hi, Linda Gradsteed from Voice of America. Again, thank you all for doing this. What do you know about the group that supposedly kidnapped them, and that it seems to be some faction? And what were you told about why they were not returned in the previous hostage release?
We don't know a lot about the group that's holding them, and the group you see in the video. We only know it's not Hamas. It's a different organization inside Gaza and other terror organizations. And apart from that, we actually don't know anything about them. We know they are not a big group, but that's about it. We know that they are a different group than the group that kidnapped Yarden. We can see from the video everything happened really, really fast. They took Yarden, and just a few minutes later, the second group came in and took Shiri. A massive group of terrorists. It just, if the first video you see them surrounding her, and then the second video just like making a move from one car to another, like it's some kind of, I don't know, some kind of merchandise or something that it's not humans, not a mother and two babies that they are taking. We don't know anything about why they weren't released on the first deal. All we know is what Hamas published on the day that the deal exploded, stopped, when the deal stopped. We really don't know, we can never get inside the head of Hamas or any terror organization and know if this is true or false, or is there any other reason why they are not released? We really don't know. For me, it's just, as long as I don't know anything else, for me, they should be returned. They are in the responsibility of Hamas. Hamas should return those kids and this family. And I could only hope that they are somewhere, just don't know where they are, and somehow safe, and we'll see them again.
I want to add something, to clarify something. Even though it's a different faction, it's not really, as Hamas is the big governmental terrorist organization that conducted the entire operation. So they are a gang, this faction. There are many gangs there, many sub-factions of terrorists, but the one that ultimately called the shot is Hamas. And the one that did planned and did the 7th of October is Hamas. And Hamas is the address for any negotiation and any deal and any effort to bring them back. So Hamas can try to use this different faction as an excuse to try to relieve themselves of responsibility. But this is a trick. They are the one that did October 7th. They are the one who calls the shot. They are the one who lead different factions to these unimaginable actions. And they are the address for the release of our family.
And if I add one more thing about what I take from that new video is the original video of my cousin was taken around 9:50 in the morning, 9:45. The new videos are from 10:05 or 10:15, something like that, really shortly after, already inside Gaza. You can see the man waiting outside of that, I don't know, place where she was taken, already prepared with a blanket. It was very well organized and well prepared. It was nothing spontaneous, deciding to just, okay, let's take them. They knew they entered Israel with the intention of taking back civilians as hostages. And you can see it clearly in that video.
Thank you. Nicola? Oh, sorry, not you. Don't think you raised your hand. Fabiana.
Yes, thank you, everybody. I have a question, but I want to ask Yifat clarification on what you have just said. Do you believe that civilians in general were meant to be taken, or specifically your family members? And the other question is, you were in touch with the IDF, but with the spokesperson, Daniel Agari, because he's really touched, of course, when he deals with the Bibas story. And I wanted to ask you if he was in any special connection with you, updating you and sharing any information.
I'll address your first question first. It's I think it's a proven fact by now that 240 hostages initially were taken. Most of them, the majority of them, were civilians from the kibbutzim, from Niroz, Be'eri, Kfar Aza, from those communities. And my family, unfortunately, were part of that attack. If it's personal against my family, of course, because I believe their agenda was to kidnap civilians and Israelis for being Israelis, because a 9-month-old, I don't know if he has a political point of view or... So they just took him for being Israeli. And it's my opinion, of course, considering the facts and what we know and what we heard. Their next door neighbor were slaughtered, and their grandparents who lived 2 minutes by were slaughtered, and an entire family were shot, 3 children among them, directly. And my cousin was kidnapped. For a minute there, I thought I was lucky because I might see her again. And our story is not over. And I'm worried because it's been 4 months now. And for your second question about Daniel Hagari, we are in touch with some officials from the government. We receive the information, the intelligence directly from them. They show us information before they show it to the press to make sure emotionally that we are prepared. There's not a lot of information given to us, okay? There's not a lot of details concerning my family that's given to us through the IDF. But if we have questions and if we have demands, they are all available for us. And of course, my family's story is basically my country's story. They are, you know, in everybody's hearts, and everyone wants to see them come back. And I believe it's true internationally as well. Those 2 little redhead boys captured the heart of a lot of people. And unfortunately, they became, you know, famous because of what happened to them. And I really hope we'll get to see them back soon.
Thank you. Liz Van Kamoon.
Hello, thank you for being with us today. Liz from Brussels in Belgium. You've talked to us about the fact that they are famous, and it's true, they have become a symbol of those hostages. Did you feel the support of the world, or were you more shocked by the rise of anti-Semitism all over the world?
I think both of the things happened. I think our family specifically got a lot of support from all over the world, mainly from social media, but also when we went to all kind of delegations around the world, we really feel the support, and people all around the world are really hurting with us, with our family story. I know from reports there are also a rise in anti-Semitism in the world. I think it's what worries me is that people connect this anti-Semitism or their political view of trying to speak for the Palestinians. They're connecting it with Hamas. And I think these 2 things it's what should be separated, because, and that's what people should understand, that Hamas is not any kind of legitimate political party. They don't have any agenda regarding helping the Palestinian, making their life better. Their agenda is killing the Jews, making an end to the Israel. So for me, that's what really really hurts, because I think all the people in Israel are hurting when they see civilians getting hurt on the other side. I think a baby is a baby, regardless if it's my nephew or a baby from Gaza. When I see a baby getting hurt in Gaza, it hurts. But people should understand that the war that Israel is at the moment facing in Gaza, something that is only it's Hamas' responsibility. Hamas brought this war upon the Palestinian citizen, and I think now we hear some of the people living in Gaza starting to raise their hand, speak up, and understanding that Hamas is not good for them and is not, and they should also help Israel in fighting them. So I think everything is very complicated, but at the bottom line, what happened to the Israeli people on the 7th of October, you can't call it, it's not part of a war. It's not something that should happen as part of a war. Women should not be raped. Babies should not be killed. Babies should not be kidnapped. Civilians should not be kidnapped. So these two issues should be separated. That's what I feel about all the situation around the world at the moment.
Anyone else? Do we have any more questions? I'll give you a minute to think, and in the meantime, I'll ask one. First of all, we hope and pray that you'll get to create so many more memories when they're back. But if you would share with us, one of you, all of you, a favorite memory, a story that you think about when you want to think, and get a sense of fresh air. Will you be able to share with us?
Of course. Shiri being my youngest cousin. And, you know, I always looked at her like a sister. And when she was pregnant with Kfir, 2 months after I got pregnant with my baby boy Guy, and we were pregnant at the same time, and I know how much she was excited about having another boy. And we were laughing very hard all the time, thinking about if he's going to be a redhead as well. And we were complaining after there were two, after Kfir was born and my boy Guy was born, and we were complaining about the lack of sleep and the hard times of new moms, and both of us having older children as well. And I know how happy she was and how amazing mother she was and how proud I am of her and how much she loved her husband and how amazing father he was. And I really do, we miss them. Holidays are, passing by here. We had Hanukkah and Passover is approaching, and we need our family whole again. We do. Thank you.
I could say that Yarden and Shiri, even though I'm the older sister, Yarden is my only brother, my younger brother. Shiri and him got married 2.5 months before me, and then had Ariel 2.5 months before my older daughter. And from the first minute, I used to live right next to them, in a kibbutz 10 minutes from them. And from the beginning, it was really important for Yarden that our children will grow up like brother and sister. It was really important. We are not a big family. We are just brother and sister, Shiri and Dana, only 2 sisters. So it was really important for him that the family will be close. And we used to meet a lot, at least 2 times during the week, and every weekend going with the kids for a Saturday picnic. Ariel and my daughter are very best friends. My daughter asks about him all the time. She asks where he is, why nobody could find them, when is he going to be back. She's asking me, is he dead? She's only 4 years old. And I don't know what to tell her because I don't know myself. I don't have the answers. So I'm telling her that we are praying and we hope that they will come back, and we're doing whatever we can. So she draw paintings for him, and she sings, and she wants him to come and dance with her again. And I miss them, especially on the weekends. Every Friday, it's like a strong reminder that they are not here. So the weekends are specifically hard. I just want to pick up the phone to Yarden and ask him if they want to meet up with us, and then he will tell me, I have no idea. Ask Shiri, because she's responsible on the schedule. I have no idea what we are planning for the weekend. I just want my daughter to see Ariel again. I am 6 months pregnant. I don't even know I'm pregnant. My wish is that they will get to meet my son. Yeah, so I know they became like a symbol, but for us, it's our family. It's our family, and we want them back. Wanna go back to my anonymous and normal life, and worrying about the stupid things, worrying about how I'm gonna handle 3 kids, not worried about the life of my brother and his family. So that's it pretty much.
Aylon?
It's a short story. It's the little things that Yarden is on family holidays. We met on the family holidays a lot, and one of the things I miss about sitting with Yarden around the table is his childlike enthusiasm towards what he does. He is a welder, and he always liked to share me with photos of his creations and his favorite artists. And we were talking about, we were watching videos together about welding and craft, and he would show me like, this is what I'm trying to do. This is what and I just can't figure it out yet. And like, and he also, with Ariel is also, he is a very energetic boy, and he likes cars. So Yarden is he's very present when he's around. the way that he plays with Ariel and the way that he's talking about his passion is something that I wish to experience again. And one of the things that he frequently brought up when I met him is actually his worry for the situation in Nir Oz. He was he had a handgun for self-defense, and he was very scared because he told me he knew that this is not enough, and that he's afraid that something will come to it will come to a horrible thing, and so I didn't know just how right he was in his fears, and about the overprotectiveness, which wasn't over, but protectiveness towards his children and his family that he was always mentioning and talking about. Yeah, so I just, you know, when the video released of Yarden, when I saw it, I never saw him like this in my entire life. The way that his eyes, the sadness is in his eyes when he heard about the supposed death of his family, and the way he looked physically, it's the opposite of the man, of the childlike man that I know. So I want to go back to this.
Amen. Thank you so much for sharing. We have 2 more questions. I know that Ofri needs to go soon, so we're going to try and do it quick. Natalie?
Hi. It's actually not really a question. I just wanted to share one thing. I'm writing a piece for the Daily Mail, just so you know. I just wanted to share that, you know, I think one of you, Aylon, I think you said about the horror when the Bibas family went in the first release. And I just want to explain that it moved me, like I burst into tears. I was in England and I burst into tears and I said to my sister-in-law, how can this be? Where are the babies? How can this be? And we are Jewish, you know, so maybe we feel the pain differently, but she understood me. Everyone I spoke to in England when I was there was just horrified. And I just want you to know that you're not alone in the horror. Like whatever happened, they should have been the first people out. Every life is valuable, but they're the youngest. So I just want you to know that from my knowledge of the UK Jewish community, people are standing by you and praying and hoping and doing everything they can. And I think that was all I wanted to say. So thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Tia, one final one. Tia Goldenberg.
Sorry, yes, I'm here. You mentioned this while you were giving your remarks earlier about how there's kind of politics seeping into this struggle to free the hostages, and I was hoping you could talk a bit about that a bit more. Is the struggle being politicized in Israel, and if so, how does that affect the campaign to free them?
I think in Israel it's a bit different than the rest of the world. I mean, other than very minor extremists that unfortunately exist everywhere, the overall consensus, whatever the political side you're on, is that this is horrifying and that they must get back as immediately as possible. And this is the support that we felt over the entire time from the Israeli community. People that were completely left-leaning and atheists, and people with traditional clothing, religious people, right, left. We just felt the warmth and the love and support from really everyone. So in Israel it's different, and it's a wide consensus. But you know, when we see the videos and ourselves when we are going to Europe or whatever, that we see the ripped posters, that we see the tens of thousands of people, even more, shouting to pretty much destroy us and kill us, and we see. I saw a ripped poster of Phil that had "Free Palestine" underneath written. So this is the kind of fusion of artificial and evil fusion that they're doing with our family to make it part of a political struggle instead of just seeing it for the humanitarian crisis that it is. And this is what we are trying to make even you, the reporters, understand. This is a separate issue. For us, it's our family members that we want back alive. That's it. That's why we are here. That's why we are talking to you. That's why we fly around the world to speak with many people with influence. We are just trying to get them back home, and we're not trying to solve the Middle East conflict, and we're not trying to do anything of that matter. We really just I want my cousin, Ofri wants her brother, and Yifat wants her cousin as well, and the family. That's it. That's all we want.
I can say from my point that it's really hard hearing that people think that our struggle is in some way political or aiming for any other result or have any kind of other purpose other than bringing our family back. When I speak to my government, when I speak to my prime minister, it's because he's the prime minister and he's responsible, and he's the one that can bring my family back, and that's the only reason why I'm addressing him directly, and not for any other reason. And just like in any other situations, there will always be people that will try to make things political or look political or take it to their agenda. We as family, and I think that also the family forum is really trying, even though sometimes it's even preventing us from doing certain actions. We are really trying to stay as neutral as possible, and to keep our fight as clean as possible. With our agenda only focusing on bringing the hostages back, and nothing more than that. Whatever happened in Israel day after is behind our control at the moment, and should not be discussed at this moment. It's not the time. First, bring the hostages back. Let the communities, let the people, let the Israeli people start recovering and rehabilitate their life. Israel is still living the trauma of October 7th. So I think all the people that are trying to take it to any kind of political agenda is not worth even considering or addressing for me. That's how I feel about it.
Okay, thank you, Free. Thanks everyone for
Before we
joining us.
finish, I would like to add just one little thing to all of you. Again, thank you for listening to us and giving us, the stage to share again our thoughts and feelings. And I would like to address through you, if I can, to the Arab world press and to the Muslim communities approaching the Ramadan. Next month, the Arab community will start the Ramadan fast, time that is all about remorse and new beginning. And what happened here on the 7th doesn't represent Islam. What Hamas has done and is doing towards the Palestinians, towards the Israelis, does not represent Islam. And I'm asking for the Arab communities, for the Arab leaders, for people who do believe in the good of humanity, to approach that time, to make that time of the Ramadan, of the fast, and put the pressure where it should be on Hamas and releasing those hostages. Kidnapping babies is not Islam. Kidnapping women and raping women in captivity is not Islam. It's not human. And I know people from all over the world, no matter their race and their color, that believe in humanity wants this to end. And it's really an important message of peace and acceptance, and we need everyone's help. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yifat, and thanks everyone. I do want to add that we kept talking about 4 months, but it's been 4 months and a half now, which are 136 days, which is over a third of baby Kfir's life, basically. And I just want to say thank you again. We at the Hostages Families Forum will continue to do everything in our efforts to bring Shiri, Ariel, Kfir, Yarden, and all the hostages back home now. Tal?
Thank you. Yes, I would like to take a moment to thank you again, Yifat. Thank you, Aylon. Thank you, Ofri. As I said before, we are hoping and praying for their release and their return, fast return of them healthy and, you know, for a lot of time of recovery, but we hope that they're going to be back. Thank you again for sharing your time and taking the time to speak to us. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.